Hey YouTube, it's Brian again. Same shirt, because filming same day as the last video, so bear with me. Just letting you know, not wearing the same shirt over and over again without cleaning them, just same day filming. So it might just take me a little longer to edit this one, so I wanted to get the other one out of the way. So today, for this one, we're going to do a part of what's probably going to be a part of the community build. So I picked up a used EVGA brand GTX 760. It's an SC model, which means it's been super clocked, which means it's basically just overclocked by the factory. So out of the box, it's a little faster than the standard one. But it came in a not so clean condition, and so I don't want to give it to somebody in that condition when we sell it, trade it, buy stuff, things like that. We want to make sure that it's always the cleanest that we can get out of the stuff that we've got. But also, when you use something, it needs to be clean, especially if it has fans and a cooler. It needs to be kept cool, because that's what that's for. And when it gets gunked up, dirty, dust build up, things like that, it stops working as effectively. So this card, I did blow it out just a tiny bit before running some tests. It got on Unigen Heaven 1080p settings, high. It got a score of 65.8 FPS, and doing a stress test for about 5 to 10 minutes, it got up into the 80s in the degrees Celsius. It was hovering between 80 and 83 degrees, which is a little warm. It's not burning hot, it's not destroy the card hot or anything like that, but in the long run you want to try and keep it as cool as possible. So 80 to 83 degrees is a bit on the warm side. But on top of that, the fans, because of having to run like that, the fans were going at 70 to 75%, which means that you get a lot more coil whine and a lot more sound from the fans. So what we're going to do is we're going to dismantle this, and I'm going to speed through the screwing and unscrewing parts, but we're basically just going to clean it out, show you how to clean it, apply thermal paste, put it back together again. Then I'll cut the video, I'll run the tests, come back and let you know how it turned out after the cleaning, and see if there was an improvement for it, so you can see what happens when you keep it clean as opposed to letting it get dirty. So I'm going to go ahead and start. My trusty Stanley kit, Q-tips, paper towel, rubbing alcohol, and an air duster are what we're going to use for today's project. And then we're going to also use a throwaway toothbrush that was about to get thrown away. So on the back, it's not so big of a deal. This stuff's just caked on from years of use or sitting, but the inside is where we're going to really use the toothbrush, in the fins of the vents and everything. So here we go. And again, I'll link some similar tools. By the way, we'll also be using some thermal paste, but I'll link some of the tools that are used, and if not the exact ones, similar enough that it won't be an issue. I'll link them in the description down below so you can find them and use them as well. So, you guys ready? Let's begin. And on the part that covers the actual GPU itself, we're doing this in a similar pattern to what lug nuts on a car would be done on. It's crisscross type, referred to as a star shape, so that the pressure is relieved in a somewhat even manner, and that way it doesn't. So we've done 11 screws to get to this point. Looks like that is it. So now we want to be very careful, because there is a cable in here that if we pull too hard too fast, we'll end up jarring the cable off and ripping off the end, and we don't want to do that. But also there are going to be some thermal pads on here that we want to keep in good shape, and that way we can reuse them and not have to worry about it. So here we go. And to get this cable out, we just need to use our fingernails we go. So now the cooler is off. The assembly is here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to clean off the GPU itself. Check everything here real quick. Give it a little dusting with the toothbrush real fast. This we're going to set down. Just dust around the edges a little bit to get rid of any loose dust here. I can see a little bit of it coming off right now. You might be able to see some of it in the video as it dusts up. This card was definitely on the dirty side, which again is a great thing for this video, for this channel, but for performance and longevity of the card, you don't want that. So now, like normal, we're going to use the paper towel. I'm running a little low, so I'm reusing one that I used earlier. So we're going to wipe a little bit of this thermal paste off here. Now, thermal paste on GPUs is well known for not being the best. Now, today I couldn't find my Arctic Silver, so we're going to use a different brand than I normally do. I'll link both the one that I'm using today, which is Cooler Master. I'll try and find a link for that, as well as a link for the normal Arctic Silver. I do like the Arctic Silver because the ceramic one is non-conductive from what I've been told, and that's always good when using it on electronics like this, to not have a conductive thermal paste. Alright, one dirty Q-tip, and then we just get rid of some more of that little thermal paste without touching the actual GPU because we don't want to scratch it with the bristles accidentally. Alright, so now we're going to take this and we're going to set this off over here. Now for this part, we're going to take our trusty air can here. Whew. Man, that was dusty. I'm gonna have to clean up after this, probably get a vacuum or something to get this up. Now with this, we're gonna go a step further than normally what we would do for like the GPU repair videos. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna go ahead and clean off the thermal paste that's here, and I'm gonna undo some more screws and take the actual heat sink off of the fans, and that should allow us to scrub it a little bit to get rid of some more of that. So again, screwdriver is going. There we go. And as you can still see, there's lots and lots of dirt on this, dust buildup. So I'm going to actually use my phone, which even clear across the table received some dust all over it from the blowing it out. So I'm going to take a couple pictures here real quick so you can see this. This is the inside. Probably going to show it right about here. And that is the inside of the graphics card. So again, lots and lots of buildup. So alright. So first I'm going to go ahead and get the thermal paste up. And I'm going to get another clean Q-tip here. Just a little rubbing alcohol on this, and we're going to scrub this area here. Fortunately, this one, although it's dried out and everything from the age of the card and not having been replaced, it's not to the point of the other one where we had to scratch at it with everything. So this one's not too bad. But then again, it is also 2 generations newer than the other one. So, alright, now that we've got that cleaned off, we're just going to take the toothbrush and, avoiding the copper pipes as much as possible, just trying to get rid of any little dust that might have gotten there. We're just going to go across the fins, and again, you can see a bunch of the dust flying up into the air. It's a good thing I'm not an asthmatic. This would be a killer for an asthmatic. As you can see, lots and lots of dust. Like I said, I'm going to have to vacuum later because this is just Wow. So we're just gently brushing across these fins because we don't want to bend them. So we don't want them to get bent out of shape. Now if one is slightly bent, it's not going to kill it, it's not going to destroy it. But you do want to make sure that you don't bend it too much. And if you do bend it out of place, try and bend it into place again, if you can, without breaking it. Here we go, can of air. Alright, so now this heatsink is definitely a lot cleaner. I'm going to take a couple more pictures real quick so you can see it after it's been cleaned. And again, I'm going to include those probably right about here. And that way you can see the cleanup after we're done. It's a lot cleaner, a lot less dust. There's still a little bit on here I'm seeing, but it shouldn't be nearly as much of an issue now. And then on the fans themselves, there's still some buildup, so we're going to spray these out. And there's quite a bit of buildup, so I'm going to just kind of brush this area a little bit here real quick to get rid of some of this dust. This won't help as much as the other part did because I'm not going to be able to get it quite as clean. But I'm going to get some of this buildup off of it, and that'll help at least a little bit. The more we get off of it, the better it'll work in the long run because it'll take longer for it to build up to this point. So. And you can probably see the dust coming up in the video feed because of the lights and everything, at least I hope so. Alright, so now like I said, before this cleaning, this card was getting over 80 degrees under load. The fans were running at 70 to 75%, and we were getting roughly 65 frames per second, 65.8, so let's say 66 almost. And so I'm going to put this back together again. So now we've reassembled this part for the heatsink. So now the next step is going to be reattaching the heatsink to the graphics card itself. So for that, we're going to swap these out a little bit. We're going to take our thermal paste, and like I said, for a CPU you want about a pea size. For a GPU you want closer to a grain of rice, maybe slightly bigger. Okay, let's go slightly bigger. We'll do just over a grain of rice. Alright, and then we're going to reattach the heatsink. For that we need to make sure that we get the plug back in. It's going to be the hardest part for me because of the fact that my hands don't move the way they used to. So bear with me just a moment, guys. So now we flip it back over, and now we begin reassembling the card. So in this process we're going to do the reverse of what we had done. So we're going to put in the actual GPU spot bolts here. So we're going to put in the GPU screws first. Forgot the bracket. Got to put the bracket in. So for the bracket, we just got to reline this up here. Reapply our thermal paste. So now that we've got the fins reassembled and everything, we're just going to touch this up a little bit here real quick. Just be nice and thorough about the cleanup. So we're going to apply our thermal paste. Usually it's about a pea size. I'm going to do a little extra just to make sure it's covered when it gets back together. Alright, so now for this, we're just going to reapply everything back this way. So now we're going to reassemble everything. I'm going to put this bracket into place real quick. I'm going to put one of these screws down here just to hold, let's go ahead and put like 2 or 3 in, just to hold it in place so it doesn't squirrel around any or get in the way. Let's do one more. There we are. And that's just to hold that in place for a moment here. We're going to just get rid of some of this little dust that's underneath where the screws have been. Whew, a little warm in here with the lights going. So now we're going to go ahead and reassemble the GPU part. And again, there's 4 of these. And we're going to do them in a cross pattern. We're going to put these other screws back in for the plate that's inside to keep it steady so that it's got the correct screws in place. So now we've got the card rebuilt, reassembled. A lot cleaner now. So take a quick picture of it already assembled now. And I'll see about adding that right about here, and you'll be able to see the difference just out of the video, out of the pictures, in case you can't see it in the video. So yeah, a lot cleaner. All right, so we're going to go ahead and we're going to take a break right about here, and when we come back, we'll have the results from the new test with it cleaned. So see you in a minute. Okay, back from testing. You can hear it in the background probably. It's still running on the system. So it was much better. I've got my little cheat sheet here real quick. So this time under the stress test, it ran 60 to 65% on the fans, which is about 10% slower, which is considerable in the noise level. It was a lot quieter. On top of that, it was between 72 and 73 degrees Celsius, which is approximately a 10-degree drop, which is an amazing drop just by cleaning the card. As far as the FPS, like I said before, I didn't expect that it would impact it much, considering that there's also a 5% scale, so that you know, sometimes it'll be a little off one way or the other. So this could have been a low version, whereas the other one could have been an extremely high one. But still 65.7 FPS, so give or take same FPS, 65 to 66 FPS. So didn't really see an improvement in the performance. However, the card should perform overall better, since it will most likely last longer now. With a cooler running, it should last longer, which is always a good thing. So just a simple swap of the thermal paste, dust and scrub thing on it, and nothing major. Took a few minutes to do, and you know, the results are amazing. You know, 10 degrees cooler, 10% slower fan speeds, keeping it at a cooler temperature. That is amazing. So overall, that cleaning was great, and that shows you how good a good cleaning can help out your computer. So hopefully this helps you guys, and again, if it does, please subscribe and like the video. And if you'd like to see anything in the future specific, go ahead and give me a comment and let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll see what I can do. I do have other things planned, and in fact, later on this week, I expect to have well, next week technically, because this week's Friday today and this week's pretty much over, but sometime between tomorrow and Monday, tomorrow being Saturday, and Monday, Tuesday time period, I expect to have a package, and I'll do an unboxing for you guys so that you can see the next step of the community build project. I'm glad that some people have started to get involved. It'll be nice to finally get that started. Unfortunately, I don't think it'll be finished by Christmas like I was hoping, but it'll be finished when it's ready, and we'll have some fun with it, and I'll show you guys some fun stuff. So keep tuned. Have a good day. Happy holidays. Enjoy the holidays, guys. Family time is the best. So, and again, like, subscribe, and leave a comment. I'm always happy to hear from you guys. And in the description, I'll include stuff that I used today or similar stuff.